Testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing. Testes. Konnichiwa, minasan. It is I, Erika Klash, coming to you all the way from the Unova region. And today I'm going to be showing you the grand tour of my personal Pokemon collection in Pokemon Home. Now, long story short, this Pokemon collection features Pokemon from all generations, all different games. It includes a full, comprehensive living dex, a collection of what I call special Pokemon, so gift Pokemon, in-game trade Pokemon, Pokemon that just exist in a specific spot in a specific region of the Pokemon world, and my collection of legacy teams from past playthroughs of Pokemon games that I've done. Before we start, I also just want to give a quick shout out to my co-host for this particular video. As some of you know, Celebi is my all-time favorite Pokemon, and this papercraft Celebi was made for me by a dear friend named Loma Prieta. And mwah! Sit there and be shady, girl. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as I said, this is just my living dex, and I go generation by generation in National Dex order. For those of us that don't know what a living dex is, that is a collection of every single species of Pokemon, all the way from Bulbasaur to Calyrex. And I sort of have like an expanded living dex. So gender variants, regional variants, alternate forms, all those kinds of things I like to have represented in my Pokemon Home collection as a sort of museum of sorts. I mean, a very sick, demented, you know, virtual zoo of a museum, but still. Some of these gender variants are very, very, very subtle. So for example, female Venusaur has that thing on the top of the tree there, and the male does not. I actually just finished hunting the last of the gender variants, and it's really not as hard as you think now, especially with Sword and Shield. It's very easy to get Pokemon like Rhyperior and things like that. Pokemon that were maybe harder to obtain in earlier generations. So it's definitely a hunt that would be easy for people if they have some of the older games in the series. And yeah, regional variants. I have all of my Ash Cat Pikachus. More gender variants, regional variants. All right, and that's basically Generation 1, Generation 2. And the thing that I'm most proud of in this generation is all of the unknown variants that I have. Now, I hunted these in Generation 4 because the question mark and exclamation point unknowns are actually not introduced until Generation 3, and I didn't have a Generation 3 game on hand, so I figured I would hunt these in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. And that's them. Wobbuffet is also my favorite gender variant, by the way. Wobbuffet just puts lipstick on. It's like hilarious. It's especially hilarious when you consider the theory that the tail is the actual Pokemon and that the thing that's standing up is actually just a decoy. And of course, I always put the female gender variants first because, you know, God is a woman after all. And that's Generation 2. And here I have the 10th anniversary Celebi that I'm really proud of because I stood in line. I think it was at Bryant Park or something for that Celebi, so... Or I think I might have had to go to the Pokemon Center. I was one of the lucky people. As a New Yorker, I was able to go to the Pokemon Center and get certain event distributions, so I'm really, really proud that I still have that. And here we go on to Generation 3. And I actually have all 4 forms of Deoxys in my living dex. That's because I just happen to have somehow 4 Deoxys on hand. This one is actually from Generation 3. This was an event distribution, but this was from someone else. That one was from Alpha Sapphire. Yeah, so speed form, defense form, attack form, normal form. And then yeah, this is Generation 4. There are a lot of gender variants, but very subtle ones here. And I actually had to go back into Generation 4 the other day to get the last of these, which was such a project. And one of my favorite form changes in this generation is actually Burmy. So Burmy is actually bug type, but then when it evolves, it gets a secondary typing. But you can see the aesthetic changes in Burmy right here. So this is like Burmy that will become grass type, ground type, steel type. And then the Wormadams you see bug grass. So that's really cool. And I believe it's fixed. Once they evolve into Wormadam, you can't change it. But you can change it here. And then Mothim is the male evolution of Burmy. Female Combi, one of my favorites. And Vespiquen, which I can't believe I have not put her in a team yet. She's fierce. And then of course I put all the Rotom forms there too. I just had to. And Generation 5. So I always put Darmanitan, like the regular form and the Zen mode, separately because even though it's a hidden ability, it still has an aesthetic change and a type change. So I consider that to be, you know, very much a different form. Oh, and this is one of my favorites. This is actually all the different Deerling and Sawsbuck forms. They are so beautiful. Look at that little Bambi face. Isn't she precious? So this one you actually have to wait for the seasons to change in Generation 5, or you have to reset your clock and all of that in order to get the right season so you can catch it in the wild in its proper form. And I believe these stay fixed once you transfer them out of Gen 5. So these are really pretty. Yeah, check those out. Jellicent and Frillish, probably my favorite gender variant from Generation 5. There's not many. And that's Generation 5. Now we go into Generation 6. Now this I am also really proud of. I spent like a whole 2 months in the winter of 2017 like hunting these down on the GTS. And that's really the only way to hunt these. These are region locked, so it depends on where your cartridge comes from, your X and Y cartridge. So that means that you are gonna have to, you know, trade with people from all over the world in order to get these. So all of the patterns are really like fashion in and of themselves. Like, I feel like this is a whole makeup project. Like, how can you take this color story, take this design, and sort of incorporate it into a makeup look? And yeah, here are the last few. Oh, this was fun too, getting all of the Flabebe, Floette, and Florges color variants. One of the most beautiful Pokemon ever, I feel. It's this whole line. Like, this is another Pokemon that I really wish was Sword and Shield. I would love to put it on some sort of team somewhere. Absolutely beautiful. That was fun. Kind of tricky if you don't have a lot of shiny stones on hand, which most people don't in the earlier generations. You know, you only maybe get 1 or 2 per game. Oh, this was fun too. Unfortunately, you can't see the changes in Pokemon Home, but you can look in the Pokedex. Furfrou has a lot of different hairstyles that you can give it, basically, and you can't see it in Pokemon Home, but you can see it in the Pokedex. And I believe you have to have registered like a Furfrou that has had that particular hairstyle. I could be wrong about that, but I believe you have to have seen the form in your, maybe you need to have seen it in your regional Pokedex in the previous generation or something like that. But here are all of the forms there. There's a lot of cute ones. I really like the Pharaoh one. The Star one is cute. Yeah, they're all really fun. This hunt I had to do in Generation 6, so this is all of the Pumpkaboo and Gourgeist forms. And you can see there the medium, small, large, extra large. That was a process, but I had to hunt it in Generation 6 because the extra large Pumpkaboo have a deeper voice when they cry out in battle. So it was a lot easier to suss out which was which. But even that can be really tricky. 50%, 10%, and 100% Zygarde. I would love to do a puppy play look based on 10% Zygarde. I think that would be so fierce. And Generation 7. One of the really cool hunts to do on top of Mount Hokulani in the Alola region was to hunt the Minior forms. And there's like 7 or 8. I think there's 8 including the shiny form. yeah, they're all really pretty. But you do have to whittle down their HP quite a bit in order to get their rock shell to come off and for you to see the color. Meltan and Melmetal, and then Generation 8. Oh, this one was crazy. So to hunt the Sinistea and Poltegeist, there are two different forms. Obviously, there's the phony form and there's the antique form. The antique form is very, very rare. I think it's like 1 in 100. It's very hard to know if the cup or if the pot is the real antique one or if it's the phony one. You have to put it in a max raid battle and Dynamax it, and there's like a split second where you can actually see the like stamp of authenticity on the bottom. So it's a little bit tricky. You can also know whether it's real or fake by which pot it wants to evolve into, basically. So I think it's a chip pot is for the antique and the crack pot is for the phony. Yeah, that was kind of a process to do because you have to spend a bunch of time farming Sinistea basically, and then you know, checking them out one by one. And then one hunt that I have not finished is actually the Alcremie forms. There are 63 forms of Alcremie. Some of them look alike or they have certain commonalities, so it can be tricky to even hunt down the items. Hey folks, so there were a few form changes that I forgot to include in the first go around of the video, so we're gonna go over them really quick here. First up we have the West Sea and East Sea Shellos and Gastrodon. I personally think that the East Sea Shellos is the cutest. That looks a little derpy, but not in a good way. So cute, the little bunny ears. Now you can only catch both of these in Generation 4. In later generations, they are some degree of kind of version exclusives. Okay, next are the red stripe and blue stripe Basculin forms. Now these are version exclusive, and I think the only real difference is the ability. And here are the Oricorio forms. Now the form that you can find in the wild depends on which island of the Alola region you're in, and these form changes actually can be switched. You just have to give them different nectar, and that nectar of course also comes from a specific island. My personal favorite is the Sensu style Oricorio. Such glamour, such beauty. The rest are cool too. I like the Bile form. Okay, and this is just like a box of like all my unused shinies basically. These two I would really love to bring into Sword and Shield. I was hoping they would be in the DLC, but unfortunately not. That's the red Gyarados from Soul Silver, and I'm not really much of a shiny hunter. I like to just kind of like let the shinies be bestowed upon to me by the video game gods. But yeah, the ones that I do have, I try to use most of them because I'd like to enjoy my shinies if I have them, right? Alright, and then this is where it gets really fun. So this is my collection of special Pokemon. These are like in-game trade Pokemon, gift Pokemon, interactable Pokemon that you can interact with in the overworld. Event Pokemon as well are in here. So for example, like an in-game trade there, that's one of like a gift Pokemon that you're lent, but that you don't give back basically in Gold, Silver, Crystal. A couple of the hidden ability ones you get from the Isle of Armor. These are the two Ditto from Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that whole little subplot. So I like to incorporate Pokemon that have some relevance to like a story element. These are some in-game trades from Generation 3, Pokemon XD and Pokemon Sapphire, like Game Corner Dratini, just stuff like that that just reminds me of that particular time and place in Pokemon, that time and place in my life when I was playing those games. So it really is, for me, like with collecting all these things obsessively, it is about the nostalgia. Yeah, like Unova, Weather Institute, Deerling, things like that. The event Zoroark that you unlock with the shiny legendary beasts. And one special Pokemon that I forgot to show y'all in the first go around is this Swablu, which comes from Pokemon Box. Pokemon Box was a Pokemon storage system for Generation 3. You can see it comes from Generation 3 here. It's level 5 and it knows False Swipe. So that's like the sort of general section, and then I decided to hunt specific groups of Pokemon from specific places and specific quests and things like that. So these are the bug catching contest Pokemon, and I've always loved the bug catching contest. It is notoriously hard. I don't think I've ever won that gosh darn Sunstone in the bug catching contest, but I would love to use these Pokemon in something someday, just to know that they came from there. I think is so cool. And this is the Relicanth and Wailord that you need to unlock the Regitrio in Generation 3. Technically I could have gotten these from Generation 6, but I did get these from Generation 3. And yeah, you basically have to put a Relicanth in the front of your party, and then you put the Wailord in the back, and then you do this whole jumping through hoops and using HMs randomly, and it's a really, really fun, esoteric thing that I had a lot of memories trying to figure out when I was younger. And I decided to name them sealed chambers so that I would always know which one was first and which one was last. And then this hunt I did over like the Thanksgiving holiday. This is every single shadow Pokemon from Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD. A lot of them ended up being used in obviously my teams for those games, but these are all the unused ones that I have hunted, and I tend to not really change around their movesets too much. I like to see which moves transfer into Sword and Shield and which don't. I think it's fascinating to see, even playing through the older games, which moves have kind of become moot or which have become completely different in usage, and I just find that really interesting. So I like to keep all of their original movesets as intact as possible. Getting these shadow Pokemon up into Generation 8 was such a process because you basically have to snag them, purify them, then you have to trade them one by one into Generation 3 on the Game Boy Advance, then you have to transfer them up to Generation 4 via the PAL Park, transfer them up to Generation 5, then transfer them into Pokemon Bank, then transfer them into Pokemon Home. So this was probably the most time-consuming hunt that I've done in terms of like special Pokemon. I tend to fully evolve them as well. I like to see them, I believe, happy. They're not shadow Pokemon anymore. They live in their fullest life, even though they're kind of in stasis constantly. And this is what I call the Ore Pokedex. So normally you can't catch Pokemon in the Ore region. However, you can leave bait at Poke spots. And there are a few select Pokemon that can appear in the wild, in the Ore region. So I basically thought of this as the Ore Pokedex, and I named them by their regional dex number, if you will. These are the Electivire and Magmortar from Poketopia. These are the Geodude and Sandshrew that you need to unlock the Safari Zone in the Johto region in Heart Gold Soul Silver. This is the level 1 Giratina that I was able to get with the event Arceus in Generation 4. This is one of my crown jewels, and I've kind of even delayed using her because I want to save her for maybe someday I'll put her in a team, and it'll just be super fun to like raise a Giratina from level 1 and really grind that up, and you know, perhaps even do like competitive. Oh, this one was really fun to hunt. It was a little time consuming, but it wasn't too bad, and it was fun to just be in the Unova region for a while. So these are N's Pokemon. Now, if you play through Black and White as well as Black and White Part 2, you can actually connect the two games and you will get access to N's Pokemon in the the sequel version that you have. So I got these from my White 2 version. It was fun to hunt them. They have a special animation when they appear in the wild, and it's really, really cool. And a few of them I actually put into my Generation 5 box for battle teams. So, but yeah, they have N's OT, the ID number is 00022. It's just fascinating to think about all these different like trainer IDs, all these different trainer names, all these different characters, these very small characters throughout the Pokemon series that, or big characters in the Pokemon series that you can collect Pokemon from. And this is the shiny Dratini that you get when you complete the White Tree Hollow challenge. And this is one of my favorite challenges. I wish that I had done it sooner because it's really, really fun. And at the end of it, Banga gives you a shiny Dratini, so I nicknamed it Banga. And here are the Totem Pokemon. Now, two of them are in battle teams already, so they're not right here, but Marowak and the Ribombee are placeholders because those Pokemon actually don't transfer into Pokemon Bank, and by extension, they don't transfer into Pokemon Home either. I love that I have the Totem Pokemon here. I think that's just such a special oddity in the Pokemon world to have in your collection. And now we're getting into all of my different battle teams. So I have these organized by generation, from Generation 8 to Generation 1. And this is my team for Pokemon Shield. These are my Generation 7 teams. So obviously some Pokemon don't transfer into Pokemon Home, so I just like kind of plugged in replacement Pokemon that have like similar typing and stuff like that. And then yeah, this is my Let's Go Eevee team. I don't want to transfer them into Shield just yet. I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna. This is my Generation 6 teams here. Event Blaziken, Shiny Metagross. Generation 5, as I said, I have some of N's Pokemon here. Hidden ability, Jellicent from Undella Town. This is one that appears in the overworld. And this is the Haxorus that you can catch in the Nature Preserve. If you've seen all of the Pokemon in the Unova Dex, you are granted access to that area in the Unova region, and you can just battle it and capture it. And it's just sitting there in the wild. Really, really cool. And we have Generation 4 here. I have a shiny Drapion from Shield that I just couldn't help but put in this box. And then, yeah, this is Generation 3. So all of these Pokemon are from Coliseum or XD. So most of them are Shadow Pokemon. This here is the Shadow Lugia from XD. Salamence, Tyranitar, Flygon. These are some of my favorites from this game. But I love all of these. I have a lot of nostalgia for the Johto region, obviously. So having the Johto region so well represented in those games was such a treat. Yeah, Breloom and oh, and this is the Mount Battle Ho-Oh that you get from the Mount Battle Challenge, which was quite time consuming, but quite fun actually, more fun than I thought it would be. So this was, yeah, basically you have to purify all the Shadow Pokemon and then do this challenge. 100 trainers, and some of them are quite tricky. So, but if you have a well leveled up team, yeah, I think you'll be fine. My team was almost about level 80 or so when I think I cracked it. And Generation 2, I have a bunch of shinies in this one. I have shiny Crobat, obviously the red Gyarados. I couldn't help but put that in a battle box. And this here is a shiny Butterfree that I got in Crystal, and I'm so happy that I have a shiny Butterfree. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, so to get that fully by chance was really a treat. I'm super happy that I have hidden ability, legit like event Celebi in my collection now. It's one of the Pokemon that I've so sorely missed. And then this is the Extreme Speed Dratini that I got from the Dragon's Den. I love all the legendaries in this particular region, so I have a lot of nostalgia there. This is the Sudowoodo from that whole subplot in Gold, Silver, Crystal with the squirt bottle. Game Corner Porygon that I want to evolve someday. And that's Generation 1. This is the Mew from Let's Go. I used the Glitch Mew in Generation 1, but I can't transfer it up, so I just plugged that in as a replacement. And then I have a bunch of legendary teams here. They're just loosely themed. Legendary Birds, Hoenn region, Sinnoh region, Gen 4 into Gen 5 with the legendary beasts, the shiny legendary beasts. This is Gen 6 versus Gen 7. Ultra Beast versus Tapus, and then just like a kind of miscellaneous like boss bitch legendary battle team. So, and then I have some like just teams that I'm just playing with right now. I love to go in and just see how many different combinations I can do in terms of typings, in terms of stats and all that kind of stuff, and movesets, and yeah, these are kind of loosely themed too. Baby Pokemon team, Fossil team. These are just some extras that I have. I really would like to use this Gorbis in a playthrough at some point. This Gorbis came from Sapphire version, the most recent playthrough that I just did. So yeah, I love Gorbis. She's fierce. There are a few mythicals that I'm missing, like Diancie and Marshadow. I haven't gotten Regidrago or Glastrier just because I haven't played through Sword and Shield again yet. I don't have the Pokeball Magearna, unfortunately, which I really want. I just need those mythicals and those other legendaries, but I would also like to hunt the Mantine Surf Pikachu, but like, pray for me because that minigame is so irritating. So, yeah, maybe we'll try that at some point in the future. I would love to find those extra Pavilion patterns, but that's looking like it's gonna be really unlikely. And then I think the Alcremie forms will probably be the next thing that I go for. It's gonna be a little bit mind-numbing, but I think I can get through it if I muscle through it on Twitch. Just like the Pavilion forms, I feel like every single Alcremie form could be really great makeup inspo, so maybe I should do that. I should do some sort of like Alcremie drag. So thank y'all so much for tuning in and for looking through my collection with me. I love collecting Pokemon. That's my favorite part about Pokemon, honestly. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. I do plan on doing lots more Pokemon content here on YouTube as well as on my Twitch stream. Here on YouTube, I plan to be doing more topic-based videos like this one. We will also be doing some Pokemon topics on Nerd Alert Season 2. And then over on Twitch, I'll be doing the latest in Sword and Shield. I would love to play through Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon White version on Twitch. I just don't know about the tech in terms of getting that to work with the 3DS. So if anyone has any guidance on that, I would really appreciate it. So I hope that you'll join me and all of us on twitch.tv/Erika Klash. I am really excited to be launching that on Tuesday, January 26th. We'll be launching at 5 p.m. Eastern. It's looking like our schedule will be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and select Thursdays. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I do really appreciate your support. And in the meantime, y'all, stay safe. Take your Metamucil before you go to bed. Stock up on Pokeballs before you leave the house. And I'll see you in the next one. Mwah!